The Tour de France has been finishing on the diesel-stained cobbles of the Champs-Élysées since 1975. 46 years, 46 stage wins. Only one man has won 4 in a row. Only one man has won 4 full stop.
There's the missile. This is going to be a formality. There's nobody can match the speed of this amazing kid. He has got the victory, and no British cyclist has ever been remotely close to winning 6 stages of the Tour de France. Now where is the Max missile? There he goes, over the top. Somebody just launched him, and forget it, because Mark Cavendish is streets ahead of the Tour de France when it comes to a sprint finish. Now Renshaw will go. Cavendish is going with him. Boysenhagen is trying to get on his wheel. He'll never be as fast as Mark Cavendish. Eyes down, because this one will be Mark Cavendish's 3rd win on the Champs-Élysées, and he gets the green jersey as champion. It's a perfect finish for Mark Cavendish. It's familiar. The missile is firing. Look at his face. He makes it look all too easy. Mark Cavendish gets 4 out of 4 wins in the last 4 years in Paris. Is all too perfect.
Mark Cavendish's last win here in 2012 seems almost to belong to a different era, as indeed is his entire glorious career until a few months, some would even say 3 weeks ago. That his team even brought him to France a month after his 36th birthday was already a surprise. What has ensued since is simply one of the greatest comeback stories this sport or any other has ever seen. 4 stage wins have all but sewn up what would be the 2nd green points jersey of his career, and even more momentously brought him level with Eddie Merckx's all-time record of 34 Tour bouquets. Meaning that this evening, as he goes for 35, Cav has a date with destiny on these hallowed cobbles. The Grand Départ was full of good omens, Brest having hosted the start of the Tour in which he claimed his first 4 Tour stage wins in 2008. But the prelude, to be frank, promised very little. A flurry of victories in lesser races in the spring, his first for 3 years, plus Sam Bennett's knee injury prompted a last-minute selection and more hope, it seemed, than expectation.
I'm pretty realistic, and I knew what I needed to get back. I'm just lucky that I had some brilliant people that knew me that would give me that opportunity, you know.
Plenty of riders broke bones in the stampede into Pontivy. Cav only spoke. But he'd still have to wait until the next day and Fougères for his first chance to seal an improbable, at one time seemingly impossible rebirth.
Cavendish now sprinting for the line. Mark Cavendish, can he get there? Cavendish! Stop the clock! Turn back time! History is not in charge here. Mark Cavendish is.
Ah yes, Fougères, scene of his last Tour win for the team he's now rejoined. The Tour's Commander-in-Chief, Christian Prudhomme, had not seen or heard such emotion since, well, Cav had been picked for the Tour the previous week, and Prudhomme had received a message on his mobile phone.
Thank you so much. I'm speechless. This race is everything to me, you know that.
Serendipity and Cav struck again in Châteauroux, specifically on the Avenue de la Charte.
It's going to be Philipsen versus Cavendish. Once again, Cavendish now opening up the sprint. Cavendish pushing for the line. Buoni threatening. Cavendish holding off Philipsen. Cavendish does it again. The king of Châteauroux.
You know what my next question is going to be.
Don't say the name, don't say the name.
I didn't say anything.
I'm not thinking about anything.
Surviving the Alps put a further spring in his step, and an entertaining chat on the first rest day lodged an image in our minds. Perhaps indelibly.
I'm an absolute fanboy of these kids, you know. Getting to ride a Tour de France with Pogacar, with Roglic, with Van der Poel, with Van Aert, Lulu in his World Champs jersey. I'm going to be sat at home in my underpants watching TV. And these are the guys I'm going to be watching, you know.
Any armchair fan in their wide fronts would have swooned at the X factor of his team's sublime display in Valence to give him win number 3, in total 33, and take him to the precipice of the great unmentionable.
Do you think they'll ask him about the Merckx record now?
I wouldn't. It's like Harry Potter and Voldemort. Don't mention it.
Here, of course, M was Merckx, not Macbeth, though somehow he still needed to break the spell. Carcassonne provided a fairy tale setting. The road to get there, toil and trouble. But his fire burned, the cauldron bubbled.
This is the last turn, the turn for home. A couple of 100 metres left. Cavendish and Merckx waiting, patient. Here goes Philipson, here goes Cavendish, lunging for the line. Cavendish gets there, win number 4. He punches the air, and now they'll have to say the name out loud because Mark Cavendish draws level with the great Eddie Merckx.
We made history. It doesn't matter where you're born, where you're from. Don't let anybody say you can't do anything.
More suffering in the Pyrenees. Then a smile. Before Merckx was summoned to Moraes on stage 19, the dress of an historic win in 1969, but not, alas, his definitive dethronement.
Matej Mohoric has done it again. Mark Cavendish will have to wait until Paris to try and beat Eddie Merckx's record.
For all his speed and guile in sprints, Mark Cavendish has frequently demonstrated an even more acute sense of drama. And ultimately the best script, maybe the best ever, is the one climaxing on the last day with the last pedal stroke on what he has often called the most beautiful avenue in the world. As ever, the man said it best himself.
We'll try and sprint. We got the strongest sprint team here. We'll see what happens. It'll be nice, wouldn't it?
Hello, we make no apology for starting the final day of the Tour with green, not yellow, which isn't to understate Tadej Pogacar's achievement in having won every jersey but green for the second year running. The fact is, though, the race as a contest couldn't survive the combination of his precocious talent and the wildest opening week anyone can remember. Here, minus the cab bits we've already seen, is a madcap recap of what we witnessed and what we learned on the 2021 Tour. Prior to stage 1, for example, many of us didn't know the German words for grandma and granddad, although any fool could have told the woman holding the sign with them on that waving it in the road with her back to the race was a bad idea.
Oh, there's a crash at the back. And Jumbo-Visma riders have gone down en masse there. Half the peloton's down. That was a huge crash.
Among the many fallers was Pogacar's biggest rival, Primož Roglic, who nonetheless got up to finish third behind Julian Alaphilippe.
When you crash the first stage, it's always good luck.
I don't know what the book of Slovenian cycling folk wisdom says about crashing on stage 3, but Roglic fell again and hard. By that time, Geraint Thomas had already dislocated his shoulder and had it shoved back in, so 2 of Pogacar's rivals were down, followed by 1 of Mark Cavendish's.
There comes Caleb Ewan. Caleb Ewan picks the wheel. And Ewan's down. Ewan's down, and he takes Sagan with him. Look at that. Caleb Ewan went down so hard there. What a brutal, horrifying day at the Tour de France, frankly.
If crashes were the dominant theme of the opening stages, granddads were a major subplot. Mathieu van der Poel had turned up to the race dressed as his, with the declared intention of taking the yellow jersey Ramon Poulidor never wore, which he did on stage 2.
What an exceptional ride from Mathieu van der Poel. He wins the stage, he takes 10 seconds, he points skyward in honour of his grandfather, and he's going to, I think, take the yellow jersey. Mathieu van der Poel has done it.
He isn't here anymore to see, but like I said, imagine how proud he would be.
Last year, Tadej Pogacar won the yellow jersey in the time trial. This year he had to settle for a stage win as Van der Poel held onto it, then set off on a wild breakaway in it alongside Wout van Aert. Another theme was emerging. This was a breakaway tour with the capacity to break even the strongest. Dylan Toynes combined subplots the following day with a solo win from the break that he dedicated to his grandfather, while behind him Pogacar set about ripping the race to pieces.
Tadej Pogacar is in such good form at this year's Tour de France.
He's bringing them in one by one. Even Tadej Pogacar will know he is doing something monumental.
By the end of the stage, Pogacar had taken the lead. Roglic and Thomas had lost 35 minutes. One of them abandoned, the other just abandoned all hope.
You're still here. Why?
Don't know.
On stage 9, the defending champion was racing rather than simply processing in the yellow jersey for the first time in his career, although the race was effectively over by the end of it after he'd taken even more time from anyone who might resemble a rival.
Oh, God,
Pogacar attacks. Everyone else is on the rack. They're in a different race, and they know it.
Fast forward from the Alps, over Mont Ventoux twice, to the Pyrenees. And although there was plenty happening on a daily basis to keep us entertained, the GC race remained stalled through the second rest day and into the third week. Consecutive summit finishes gave it an uphill jump start.
Look at the elbow, they're trying to drop him, they're working together. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Pogacar goes on the left-hand side of the road, sweeps past Carapaz. Vingegaard now coming past Carapaz. Pogacar will take the win on the top of the Col de Porte. A brilliant victory.
To win in the yellow is something I cannot describe.
Suddenly and belatedly, we had a close three-way race, except for the unignorable detail of Pogacar's 5-minute lead. The next day saw the same three riders rise to the top and confirm their podium placings across the line.
Pogacar rips past Enric Mas and into the front of the race. Carapaz, though, not giving up. Vingegaard holding on to Carapaz's wheel. Tadej Pogacar has broken them, and he is riding clear as befits a great champion, and he's going to win this Tour de France with a dollop of panache. Tadej Pogacar is a racing beast.
Although he still looks like the boy in the school photo whose hair wouldn't lie down properly. There's the final top 10, incremental stage 21 adjustments notwithstanding. Jonas Vingegaard clawed back 25 seconds in the time trial yesterday, but still finishes over 5 minutes down. Richard Carapaz drifted out beyond 7 minutes, but the podium places were already set. And although the gap between 4th and 5th closed a little, Ben O'Connor held off Wilco Kelderman.